Hey, Corey.
How's it going, Seth?
Oh, I'm good. Hey, by the way, everybody, welcome back to FantasySportFans.com.
FantasySportFans.com.
That's right. You say it one more time.
FantasySportFans.com.
Oh, that feels so good to hear. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so check this out. We got 5 do's, 5 don'ts of fantasy football that you need to know, and we're going to give those to you right now. Corey, what do we got first on that list?
On the to-do list of fantasy football, we have draft a superstar player early. Why do you do that, Seth? Why do you draft a superstar player early?
Well, you just said it. He's a superstar.
He's a superstar.
Superstars give you points, and points on fantasy football wins you games.
Yeah, make sure you have your team surrounded by at least 1 or 2 of those that you picked up in the early round that you'll get fantasy points from every single week.
But just draft smart, and possibly you could have about 4 or 5 of those like I did last year.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, all right. Hey, what else we got on that list?
Second
Come on
the
now.
list, wait till later rounds for sleepers.
Oh, yeah, man, absolutely. You know, do your research hard on this one, but, man, find those sleepers that nobody else is thinking about or probably 100 million other people are. But regardless, make sure you get those on your team. Just don't draft them too late.
Yeah.
Or too early.
Yeah, too early. Don't reach for those picks. They're not for sure things, but if you can grab them in the later rounds, it's always a good thing to do and stash them on their bench. Maybe they'll become good later on. You never know.
And, you know, like 13th round, 14th round, that's usually right around the good area.
Right. Around the time that you're going to be drafting a kicker. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
All right, anyway, next on the list, draft a QB who has weapons to throw to, which kind of seems obvious, but, you know.
Well, I mean, think about it. You know, you don't want a quarterback who pretty much has one single target that he's going to be throwing to. Otherwise, you know, what does that happen? You know, he starts trying to throw it somewhere else on the field. What does that lead to? Turnovers, and that's what you don't want. You don't want
that
negative
one
points.
guy's going to be double covered for sure, and he's
Exactly.
going to throw the ball in there just to get it up to him. You know, draft
Unless
a
you're Brandon
quarterback.
Marshall.
Yeah, unless you're Brandon Marshall. Draft a quarterback that has some weapons to get you some points. All right, next on the list, what do we have? Draft best available player for the utility spot.
Oh, well, yeah, man. You know, that's a simple and obvious one. Whatever is at the top of the list, whoever is the best ranked, whether running back, receiver, or even have it tied in, you know, as that flex position as well, man, you draft that person for that spot.
Yeah, now they're adding the tight ends to that utility, to that flex spot, and it's kind of good, you know. I mean, even though the tight end market is a little low this year, you can still throw one in there and you can still get points from them. It doesn't really matter.
All right, Corey, what else we got there?
All right. Utilize the waiver wire pickups and ads.
Oh, well, that's your field right there,
drops,
Corey.
I guess.
Go ahead.
You have to utilize the waiver wire. Pick up players that are doing good. Drop players that are doing bad. That's how you win championships.
I completely agree, man.
All right. That's it for the do's. Now we go to the don'ts.
Alrighty, man. Well, I tell you what, you know, don'ts are pretty much obvious. You know, you don't want to draft a kicker until the last round. Can I get an amen on that?
Amen. Don't do
Amen.
that.
And of course, don't pick a defense till after the mid rounds. Why do you do that, Corey?
And it's hard not to sometimes because you do want that premier defense, but you can go on and fantasy team. You can play the waiver wire for your defense almost every week. You can find the best matchup on the defense that's available. You can pick them up and you can still get points from them. You don't need to waste that mid-round pick on a defense.
There we go. And of course, obviously, you don't want to start a player unless you are for sure they are what, Corey?
What?
Playing. You want to make sure your player is playing. So Sunday morning, if you happen to get up and you want to get up and early, you want to look at your lineup, man, do your homework. Make sure that all your players are playing because you don't want to wake up for some reason at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and realize, oh, my starting running back is out and he's not playing this week. Oh, no, darn, I can't do nothing now because that game's already started.
Yeah,
so
pay
you wanna
attention
make sure
to
they're
the
playing.
pay attention to the bye weeks. That's number one. You have to do that. And if you have a player it's like a 50-50 chance to play Monday night and you have a player that you know for sure is going to play that player. Don't risk going to Monday night and not having a player and getting 0 points out of that. Don't do that.
There you go. And of course, always don't draft too many players from the same team.
No, don't do that. That can be terrible for your team. What if that team has a bad week? I mean, and what are you going to do? You're going to lose that week no matter what. Just don't do that.
There you go, man. And of course, don't pick players with the same bye weeks.
Yeah.
Come on, don't be doing this.
Yeah,
You're going to be lost. All those superstars that you possibly drafted in that draft, say they all have the same bye week, or most of them have the same bye. Well, guess what? You don't have anybody on your bench to cover because, well, guess what? They have the same bye weeks too. So what are you doing? Now you're having to drop players to pick up somebody off the waiver wire, and you're letting people go that you don't want to go unless you're just willing to sacrifice that week. Am I right?
You're right. You heard it first from FantasySportFans.com, our do's and don'ts.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Hey, Seth here with FantasySportFans.com. Hey, be sure to enter your name and your email on our website to get instant access to our free beginner's guide of fantasy football. By subscribing, you will get free Fantasy Sport Fans updates, tips, and Fantasy Sport Fan news with no spam.